Here's my equipment. So this is the hammer that I used. This is new this year. I'm going to use this to break the long stones. These are my extra heavy-duty gloves that'll be chewed up. I don't want to use these. These are my nice gloves for the yard. This will be the thing that I use to kind of level the dirt around the rocks. I need this to cut the chicken wire around the rocks. Safety glasses must have. A rubber hammer to place the rocks and stone in place. Okay, so I've got several rocks that are stones that are too long. I want them to be about this long or half this size. So I've had several different ways that I've done this, but this time around I'm using this little hammer here, and it takes about 12 hits, 6 on each side, and then it'll pop loose. Let's see what happens. Turn it over, find the spot. There it goes. So the way I've done this before is I'll drop the rock on another rock, stretch them across, and then drop a big rock on the piece below. It's much weightier, but sometimes the rock flies and it's not quite as safe as this, which, as you can see, doesn't have its safety. Also, see that glove there? This is just hauling a few times and the gloves are already getting torn up. I'll show you as this progresses how it will be falling apart. Okay, so it's the next day. Off camera, I took the opportunity to do some rock breaking. As you can see, I've gotten down to the pallet and broken all the larger pieces into, well, not all of them, some of the larger pieces into more manageable pieces that will fit into the patterns that I'm trying to outline in the back. And there I've got a good stack. Had a couple scraps, but the method I'm using now has reduced the number of scraps that I create, which is a good thing. So I still have 3 more pallets, and the rest of this pallet, and I'll be moving this in the back probably later today. I'm going to hit some golf balls. Signing off for now. Here we are. It's March 2nd, 2020. That is the last of my rock piles. I don't know if you recall, I had 2, 3, 4 pallets of rock. I've got some rock here. That's my breaking zone, and this is a pile of rocks. Actually, it's called chopped stone that I've broken into smaller, more manageable pieces. And I'm going to show you today how I break stones like this into smaller pieces. These are my failures back here. Takes a little bit of a learning curve to figure out how to score it and break it, keep them from shattering like that, so you get good rocks like that. So let's see how this is done. Okay, so the first things that are most important, protection. I've got my mask, because when I hit the rock, the shards fly everywhere and they can get pretty sharp, cut you. So I have thick gloves, and I've got my little hammer. I use this to score the edges, turn the rock on its sides, and then give it one pop on the back side, and it usually breaks where I want it. Let's see how that's done. All right, so I've got a rock right here. What I'm going to do is I've got the, it's concave. So I'm going to chip the edges and then score across the middle. If it doesn't break at that point in time, then I'll score on the side, and then I'll flip it over and score it and pop it. Here we go. There's my shatter. Yeah, that's what it is. And there it is. That piece came off, but broken. Put it on the pile. This piece came off. That's okay. It's pretty small. I'll shape this up a little bit, and I'm done. All right, so I'm gonna show breaking another rock. This one's a little smaller, and it's questionable as to whether I would want to break it or not, but there are spots where I want small rocks. So I'm gonna break this one. I'm gonna score it on the corners here and here, across here, flip it on its side, score it, flip it over, and break it if it hasn't broken yet. Okay, got a nice score here. See if we can do it over here. Little off. And come on here. Almost there. Now I want to make sure I know where that score is. I'm going to follow that line up across the back here. Bam. There it is. Broken half. Look at these corners here. They're really sharp. That's why I wear these gloves. I have gloves that have been just ripped apart to shreds from grabbing these rocks. So got to be very careful. That'll come in nicely for a corner piece or a last bit piece. That is one heck of a pile here. It's very precariously stacked. Take one off the bottom, the whole thing will shift. I can see some right now that probably need to be broken further, so I'll definitely need to leave my stone breaking workbench in place so I can break those at a later date as I get down to the bottom of that pile. Good times ahead. Well, we're down to a smaller pile of rocks here. I've moved a bunch to the back and some to the front, and I'm getting ready to tear down my workbench. So I've got a kind of makeshift workbench over there. I'm going to break all the bigger parts of my workbench down. So that'll be the end of the workbench, and I can get this crate out of here. I don't know if you can see the lizards over here. They've been darting in and out of here. I got to clear them out so they don't get hurt. I think they're chameleons, actually. Anyway, we're going to put this on time lapse and see how it goes. It's hard to believe that I have finished breaking my rocks. So I'll be moving the rest of these in the back or somewhere and finish this off in the near future. After spring break, signing off March 5th, 2020. Well, what you're looking at is the clean spot where my pallets were. Yesterday I moved the last of the larger stones and then the pile of chip stones to the back, and finished landscaping back there. I've got 4 pallets. I guess I can recycle those. I don't know if they give you money for recycling those or if I just take them apart and toss them. But here's a little hint of what I did back here. I've been working in the garden as well. If you look out here, you can see I've done all the landscaping back here. I put landscaping around these 2 trees, and then landscaping around that area, and then there's another tree back there that's been done. So all of my stone has been put into place. I've got a clean driveway for a change. I can move my car back up here, and actually that's going to be Anna's car, and you can see that everything is clean and ready to go. Got to get some weed killer in there, get this grass to grow back. I've already got some of it growing here, and the St. Augustine should be growing soon and getting that back into shape. Looking good for now. Now to install and finish the stone installation in the back.